In July 2020, we got some government funding to make our Dark Line puzzle game Puzzle Dungeon. The game is just not coming together and just some visibility issues. We decided that this was gonna be it. This was gonna be the final design and we were gonna stick with it and just make it work. We're changing the art style today. Aggressive bouncing. We submitted a application for extending the deadline by 3 months. We had working gameplay, we had an art style that we were confident in and that was working with our other games. Welcome to Puzzle Dungeon Part 3! Also, I look like this now. Hi. This is that part of every anime where the time skip has happened between seasons and like everybody looks a little different. No, let's keep this on. Yeah, that's where we are in this video trilogy? Question mark? A lot has happened. Let's start from the beginning. It is now April. We finally settled on an interface. Yeah, we still need to move some things around, but at least like all the major elements are in place, which is great. But yeah, I didn't really spend as much time on art. I think I just cleaned up the tile set, but then like the majority of my time was pretty much just troubleshooting the level editor, communicating with the level designers. So where we're at is at a pretty good point. Most importantly, we have all of these gameplay mechanics implemented and tested. Hooray! We know what we need to do until the end of May. We have the editor, we have some of the levels that we just need to make in a new editor. I just need to test it again to see if there's any bugs. And we need to clean up the art. Still a lot of work to do. Last 2 months, let's go. Alright, I don't really know how to properly transition to this part, but you're already used to all of the tangents, so here we go. In April, my parents and Joseph and me rented this little plot of land to just plant some veggies. At this point, we hadn't really gone outside much, mostly because of the pandemic, secondly because we're barely outside anyway. When we were both pretty burned out from client work, from working on Puzzle Dungeon, from the stress with the deadlines and just sitting in front of a computer all day worrying. This is the part we haven't gotten to. This is the part we've gotten to, and this is our neighbors. Just picking up the hobby that was not in front of the PC was actually pretty welcome change. It really helped us get through these next 2 months of development, and I also think you can tell in the video that we both have a different vibe. Like when I was editing part 2 of Puzzle Dungeon, like there was so many scenes that I cut out where I looked just super sick and like burned out and I'm just very negative. And I think like in part 3 you can see that, yeah, the both of us just have a lot more energy and we are in a much better mindset also about the game that we're making. Anyway, let's continue back to development. We have 2 months to get shit done. So, it's the beginning of May. We have 1 month to finish Puzzle Dungeon and oh boy, taxes were pretty brutal. We haven't really paid that much income tax in the past 2 years because our company doesn't exist for that long. I had 2 clients that paid late. I don't think I did the situation justice in that clip. The reality was that this tax situation nearly bankrupted our studio. I'm not joking. And that was mainly because we didn't calculate the full expenses. So let's break it down. When we started, we calculated a small salary for Joseph and me and a real salary for our programmer, who we wanted to hire full-time for 9 months. That resulted in the number of 45,000. Of that money, the government gave 70% and we gave 30% of our own money, which basically guarantees the government that we are serious about the project and we're willing to put up our own money and yada yada yada. So we ended up working on the game prototype for 11 months instead of 9, which we financed out of pocket. And then on top of that, we had to pay taxes on all of our salary, which is a lot. And we should have known, but we just didn't calculate it. Like, usually taxes are paid at the end of the year, but because 2020 was the pandemic year, it got delayed by a couple of months. So first of all, we had to pay our 2020 taxes in March. And then because we were a new company, we also hadn't paid tax in, I think, 2019, and I don't even know if we had paid the one before. No, it was 2019, 2020, and then they wanted an upfront payment for 2021. So it was 3 payments hitting us at once. Research your taxes, that's all I'm gonna say. It was just a lot of chaos. We survived the great taxing. We also had one wonderful client that paid early just to help us out. Everything worked out, but we thought we were gonna be developing a lot in April, but instead it was stress, taxes, and a shit ton of paperwork. We actually, just before shooting this video, we just finished up the last piece of paperwork. Kind of write a report about what we did last year on the project, and also like list up all of our finances. I'm very happy that we got it done. This shit just takes a lot of time. Better news on the development side. We have actually made a lot of progress. So right now we're at the point where the game is pretty much functional. Like, you can start, there's a start screen, you can press start, you can start from level 1 and you can play however many levels we designed with our fancy level editor. Yes, we have a level editor. It's just been getting more detailed every month and I think it's at a really cool point. So what we want to do this month is we have all of these kind of parts floating around. We want to bring all of them together and like kind of make one whole out of it. So we have some levels over here, we have some animations that aren't really quite finished. Animations. I spent the rest of the day making animations for the game in Premiere, and for that I broke the characters down into separate body parts, like the hair, the head, the body, and then I just squished and stretched the individual parts to simulate some movement, because up until this point the game was pretty static. And after the idle animations, I made an animation for spawning, where I drew each individual frame and threw some rough color on them. And the result looked a bit sketchy, but at least things were moving and there was finally just some life in the game. For all of the 6 monsters, I decided a 3-frame idle animation was enough. For that I took the graphic and just moved individual body parts around, redrew them, and then just drew one in between frame to blend the animation. So that way I can show frame 1, frame 2, frame 3, and then just 2 again. So it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And that just makes for a very nice looping animation. And for animations like chewing and happy, I only just drew 2 frames because you really don't see them as much. Haha, nice. Now it's finally time to implement all of the assets that I had made during the last couple of weeks. Let's do this. Step 1, characters. I implemented all of the sprites into Gamemaker. The timing with feeding was looking promising. And other animations like the spawn drop down thing were causing some issues.
Kannst du es nicht lesen?
Nee, die Dingens-Animation spielt manchmal, manchmal nicht.
Was für eine Animation?
Also ich versuche gerade diese Spawn-Animation zu timen, aber hast gesehen?
Sie fällt nicht runter.
Mhm. Nevertheless, I pressed onward and I added all of the sprites for the other characters as well. And you can see here that for the dash animation, I literally just duplicated it and stretched the sprite so it would have some movement. Not everything at this stage has to be pretty, it just has to be functional. Step 2, implementing monsters. And this was pretty straightforward. All of the monsters already had their animation states, so it was just a matter of adding the frames and tweaking the timing. Step 3 was basically everything else. First of all, I looked through the project and replaced everything that I had new sprites for. And then added some water for all of the directions. I also animated some mold in Premiere. Yoink! And it's in the project. And last but not least, I animated one bubble. And then just copy-pasted that all over the sprites for the mud. And let's drop all of these into Gamemaker as well. Whee! Garden break. So it's 1 week later. And I know it doesn't look like much, but some of the salads already started to grow. And just like our project finally started to grow into something resembling a game again, our plants made some progress as well. Listen, just let me try and make this an allegory, okay? I already tried once with the plant allegory and people liked the chili pepper at the end, okay? Just let me have this. Can we just quickly talk about the moment when you add sound effects to your game and it just becomes 10 times better? Like, even though the sounds that we added weren't as good, they were from like this dummy Humble Bundle sound pack that we had purchased like years and years ago. Like, just adding sound effects adds so much character to a game. It's like, it's Die Pause am Schluss.
Was mir bei der, hier ist ein Plus, was mir bei der so gut gefällt, ist, wenn sie dann so frech grinst. Das ist so geil.
Oh yeah. You can do it. Yeah.
Wow, das ist die Lösung.
Nee, nicht ganz. We finally played a version of the game with sound effects, and it adds so much to just, yeah, how everything plays, how everything feels. Of course, it's all dummy sounds and dummy music, but yeah, it's finally starting to come together as a cohesive whatever. Time for music. Oh my god! We have like 2 weeks to finish this game. Today we are going to talk with our musician, which is going to be very exciting because we have been very happy with his work. So we wanted to talk to him about making music for Feed All Monsters, and we're gonna talk to him about probably how we want to tackle music in general, because at this point we're planning for the full game. So for example, if we're gonna have 6 different settings, can we have a gameplay loop that is slightly different depending on which setting you're in, or like that uses different instruments, or just talk to him in general about what's possible, what the costs are, how much time he has available. So yeah, I don't think for the prototype that we're gonna get any music from him, but that is fine because I will continue filming and you will be right here and you will see everything, I hope. Not everything though. Some things need to stay a secret.
Okay, so you have 3 characters. The goal of the game is to feed the monsters.
At least that's kind of the long-term plan, to have 6 different settings with like different tile sets, so you kind of get a feel for, yeah, going on an adventure, but we kind of want these settings to feel a bit distinct. So yeah, we're gonna do some small gameplay variation. And I think like the main distinction would be visually and then the music.
The loop, like 30 seconds to 1 minute, we still have to plan that out, how many levels we will get in the end. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening. Thank you, likewise. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Oh my god. Okay, can you see Discord behind me? Wait. Look. Ah, it's literally the next day. Oh, I'm nervous. Okay. Get me into that job box. Okay, this is nice. I'm not 100% sold on the beginning, but maybe I need to hear it more. Like, I love the end, I love the beats. Oh god, yeah, I need to hear Joseph's opinion on this. And I also need to listen to it again and like open up the game, because I think like just seeing the 2 things together, that's gonna be very interesting. Music is Joseph approved. We have one more week to finish the game. I just came back from the garden. We just spent 2 hours planting some new stuff and caring for the plants that are slowly but surely growing. Now it's the afternoon, and because I've been pretty much just been playing Galactic Mining Corp, I'm not joking, it's become a problem. This morning I actually wrapped up a build and a level editor for one of our level designers so that we can get the levels finished in time for the prototype next week. Yeah, so now I think I'm just gonna do some level art. Yeah, so I'm pretty much gonna do that for maybe 1 more hour and then maybe game some more. I don't think I've mentioned this yet in the video, but the software we use for our level art is called Tiled. And it's the same software we used in this global game jam video. And it basically allows you to import a tile set and then make level art with that tile set and then export a file that a game engine can read. In our case, we get the data of which tile ID is placed where and have the same tile set in Gamemaker. So the background that we build in Tiled gets loaded into the correct level in Gamemaker. Hi, hello, welcome to probably the last update before we finish the prototype. We have 3 more days to go, I think. So what I plan to do today is do some polishing, finishing touches. Nice. Okay, yeah, that has been fixed, so the character now does a pose animation if you select them again, which is super cute. Yes, this will become a button. I need to do a graphic for that button to end the level. I'll probably also have to move it back over here. Let's see. Nice. Okay, yeah, that is also a typo. Just a bunch of little things to fix. I already made a list, so I'm gonna go through that, listen to some wonderful Eurovision music, and then I'm gonna attempt to do the particle effects. I'm pretty much done with the graphics. Yeah, now I'm gonna try to see if I can get some effects done. I pretty much have like 3 to 4 effects that I want to do. The first one should be quite easy. It's basically just a particle system that disposes a bunch of particles. I want, if you click on the character portraits, I just want there to be some stars. If you click, if the character dashes, I want the particle system to create dust. And then when the monster is fed, I want it to just spew out 1 or 2 hearts. In theory, I know how to do that. The other 2 are gonna be a bit more complicated, and I don't know if I can do them in time for the prototype. The first one that I want, that's what I want. And the second thing that I kind of want to get done, when you transition from the menu to in-game, I would love for there to be, or like even when you transition from level to level, I would love for there to be like a round fade. Like having a black circle, like the outside is black, the inside is transparent, and it just goes like woo, and then goes back up like this. tomorrow we're gonna get the new level editor, so we can change, so we have some more options on sprite customization, and then we're also gonna get the newest build, and then we just have to do level art, and then we're pretty much done. I realized I never really filmed a proper outro to the Feed All Monsters vlog. Yeah, so I'm guessing here it is. The game is pretty much in a playable state now, which is great. I hope you enjoyed seeing the development. I hope you enjoyed the video. And yeah, let's wrap this up with some beautiful garden shots, hopefully. In the end, we managed to get the vertical slice done in time. We got the government funding, everything is sorted out, and we had reached our goal. Was it a financially good choice? I don't know. What we got out of it was just time to experiment and to fail, and we failed a lot. But in the end, we had this really cool vertical slice, and we now had a game that would fit with our other games, with cool puzzles, cool gameplay, and just a game that we were really confident about and that we were very hyped to bring to completion. And yeah, that is part 3 of the puzzle dungeon. I want to say trilogy, but I've already recorded part 4. Yeah, anyway, thank you for watching. See you in Puzzle Dungeon Part 4. It's not called Puzzle Dungeon anymore, is it? It's called Feed All Monsters now. Feed All Monsters Part 1.